Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th Canto, Chapter 14. King Pururava enchanted by Urvashi. Text 40, 41, 42, 42. Yeah, 42 is purport. So we read a few shlokas without purport, and then we can do together with purport of Srila Prabhupada. So text 40. Oh, 40, yes. Antarvatim upalakshya devim sa prayayo purim punastatragato dante urvashim vira mataram. Understanding that Urvashi was pregnant, Pururava returned to his palace. At the end of the year, there at Kurukshetra, he again obtained the association of Urvashi, who was then the mother of the heroic son. Having regained Urvashi at the end of the year, King Pururava was most jubilant, and he enjoyed her company in sex for one night. But then he was very sorry at the thought of separation from her. So Urvashi spoke to him as follows. And text 42. Yeah? Yes. So we can do this one. Gandharvan upadyavam mams. This is what?
1 second.
Oh, 1 second. So we are getting there.
If you wait
Slowly but surely.
yeah, I can undo it.
Gandharvan upadhavamams Tubhyam dasyanti mam iti Tasya samstavatas tushta Agni sthalim dadur nripa Urvashim manya manastam So buddhyata charambane. One more try.
Gandharvan upadavemam Tubhyam dashyanti mamiti Tasya samstuvatas-tushta Agnistalim dadur-nipa Urvashim manyamanastam Subhudyata charanvane
Gandharvan upadavemam Tubhyam dasyanti mam iti Tasya samstuvatas-tushta Agni starim dadurnipa Urvashim manyamanastam Subhudyata charanvane
word by word. Gandharvan.
Gandharvan.
Unto the Gandharvas.
Unto the Gandharvas.
Upadhava. Go take shelter.
Go take shelter.
Iman. This. Tubhyam. Unto you.
Unto you.
Dasyanti. Will deliver.
Will deliver.
Mam iti. Exactly.
Like
me. Or me factually. Tasya. By him. Samstuvataha. Offering prayers. Tushtaha. Being satisfied. Agnistalam. A girl produced from fire. Daru. Delivered. Ripa. O king. Urvashim. Manya manaha. Thinking. Tam. Her. Saha. He. Pururava. Abudyasa. Sorry. Abudyata, yes. Understood factually. Charam. While walking. Vane. In the forest. Translation purport by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Urvashi said, my dear king, seek shelter of the Gandharvas, for they will be able to deliver me to you again. In accordance with these words, the king satisfied the Gandharvas by prayers, and the Gandharvas, being pleased with him, gave him an Agnishtali girl who looked exactly like Urvashi. Thinking the girl was Urvashi, the king began walking with her in the forest. But later he could understood that she was not Urvashi but Agnishtali. Purport. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur remarks that Pururava was very lusty. Immediately after getting the Agnishtali girl, he wanted to have sex with her. But during sexual intercourse, he could understand that the girl was Agnishtali, not Urvashi. This indicates that every man attached to a particular woman known the particular characteristics of the woman during sex life. The Pururava understood during sexual intercourse that the Agnishtali girl was not Urvashi. Om Agyanatimiram Dasya Gnana Shalakaya Chakshutamina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namam Vishnuparaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Rishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpaturubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patijanam Pavanyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Hare Krishna. So we continue this amazing story with King Pururava and Urvashi. But for our clarity, we have to understand that especially this story, like other similar in this 9 canto, is not the war between the genders. It is the theme of Bhagavatam itself is the excuse me, is about the psychology. A psychology of what? Not man and woman. This is not the theme of Bhagavatam. Although we deal with here, it's like definitely Pururava and Urvashi, man versus woman. It's not about that. So what is all about? It is about Maya, material nature, and Jiva. This is the theme of the Bhagavatam. So therefore, we have to understand that Urvashi actually symbolically she showing us the power of the alluring power or of attraction of the material energy. And how Pururava is representing every conditioned souls, any of us who have conditioned mind and become subjected to such allurement, to such attractions. That's the teachings of this story. So Prabhupada, how he is teaching about all these kind of topics through pages of Bhagavatam, he is teaching us about spiritual equality. This is how we should see it. All the stories like that. And material matter, and about the second way of his teaching is an explanation of the material, but how to also practically use it or engage it in the devotional service. Because spiritually we are all one. There is no any distinction, this soul is better than that one. No, we are all coming from the same source, we're coming from Krishna. That's why in the beginning of the Vedas, it's very clearly pointed out, Eko Bahushyam, that everything is coming from the Lord. Every living entity. Prabhupada was giving an example about the father. Why father is creating children? He's creating children for his own pleasure. That's right. He's just producing them. So similarly, Krishna in his Gita is explaining, Mamai Vamshu Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Mana Shashanandriyani Prakriti Karshati. All the living is a fragmental part of me. They're just small samples. We are small samples of Krishna. We're small Krishnas. Samples. But as soon we are turning our face from the Lord, we just equipped with something, with the material mind and material senses, with material body. So, therefore, the proper understanding of the sections of Bhagavatam is actually to see from the spiritual point of view, from the devotional point of view, in connection with the Lord. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta. Yes. Yukta Vairagyam Uchyate. How everything is connected with the Lord should be used for the Lord. That's why, as we see, even the definition of devotional service is Anyabhilashita Shunyam Dhyana Karmadi Anavritam Krishna Nushlanam. Everything should be used favorably to please the Lord. And this is the first class bhakti. We should minimize our material desires to the point of zero, actually. That's why it's Anyabhilashita Shunyam. Shunyam means zero. Jnana means, as acharyas are explaining, jnana means jnana and karma. Jnana karma anavritam. Jnana means subtle body, means mind, intelligence, ego. And karma means physical body. So we're not giving up, we're just using this for the pleasure. How? Favorably. Then this type of bhakti and understanding is the best type of bhakti, devotion to the Lord. When everything is properly used, everything is properly engaged. And therefore, this type of situation, there is the living entity, which is spiritually sample of the Lord, is Satchit Ananda. Like the Lord is explaining his position, Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Satchit Ananda Vigraha, the Lord is just is the eternal, full of bliss and full of knowledge. Similarly, living entities also like that. But in the material world, when we're coming in the contact with the material energy, become entangled. That's why nunam pramatta kurute vikarma yat indriya apriteya prinoti. If the mind and senses of the living entities in this world embodied soul are not controlled, then actually we are entangling ourselves in so many complications of living in this world. Because if mind sense are not controlled, then become degraded, sinful. As well as papa. Papa means, sinful means the activities are not for the pleasure of the Lord. But this is not problem. Papa is not problem. The real problem is what? Is even more degrading. It's that we are not able to, on one hand, control mind and senses. We are implicated in the sinful activities, but when we are doing offenses, this is a very interesting word, offenses. We are off fence. Fence means that we are surrounded we are protected. But when we are doing offenses, we are not protected. So these even more degrading things, taking us far from the Lord. So therefore, this beautiful story, it's very, very, very important for us to understand that we should approach to these topics of Bhagavatam in a humble state of the mind, with the humility. That's the real education. Manu Samhita is explaining the quality of the humility is the most important ornament of each living entity. How? It is Vidyanushhiranam. That's the word is used. In 4th chapter of Manu is explaining. This is the most important quality of the living entity. That is trying to act in a humble way. Humble way means trying to recognize that actually we are subordinated to someone who is above us, the Lord, the Supreme Controller. We try to act as a servant of the Lord. Very beautiful also definition Sanatana Goswami is giving of the humility. That one is, although he has all good qualities, even in this world, very prosperous, very beautiful, this or that, still he will think about himself as very insignificant. That's the humility. Therefore, Chanakya Pandit is instructing us what the real education is Vidyam Dadati Vinayam. A real educated person is such person who acts in a humble way in towards everything and everyone in relation to the Lord. And this is this story. That's why this story is very, very instructive, because Pururava, we are reading now today from the shlokas, and especially the shloka 42, that he, because of his desire, he become covered, become bewildered, become emotional, and losing his discrimination, what is right, what is wrong, to that point that he even don't know the difference that this girl, which is given to him by the Gandharvas, is not actually Urvashi. So he's completely bewildered, completely infatuated. And this is what is happening with every one of us when we infatuated in this world by ego. We identified with the ego, with the false ego, and then what is happening that we taking something which is real and unreal. It just is this perverted consciousness problem of the seeing the realities, see things as they are, as seeing are not are they are. And this is Maya, that Prabhupada was translating. Maya means illusion, not that. Dvitiyam Anivisha Syat. Yes. Then someone become very, very fearful because he is not on his real position. He is identified with this material body, and he is carrying, like here, Pururava carrying, got this from Gandharva, this golden pot. And this golden pot is this Agnishtali girl representing. Everything is in Vedic culture is very, very symbolic as meaning, but we have to know how to decode it, how to read it, how to actually understand this properly in our own situation. So similarly, he is very, very happy, but actually he realized there is not what he is really looking for. There is no happiness there. There is no this desired object of his happiness. So similarly, everyone is carrying like this in this material world, different types of pots, golden pots. And we're thinking that we are very, very happy. We have our, nice mobile phone, and everyone so much infatuated. It's amazing how Maya is powerful, how illusion is bewildering everyone. Young people, from the young people, the first toy is what? It's just mobile, just look, he's peaceful, she is peaceful, my child is peaceful, so infatuated, so absorbed, just, so peaceful. The parents, it's not crying, not asking for anything. It's just completely samadhi, the absorption. And the same thing, whenever it's time for even adults, also like a children, immediately going to the mobile, and they coming to home, and immediately jumping, to the bigger computer, or TV, and there is, everyone is. It is amazing how Kali Yuga is working, the humans are creating machines and they are controlled by these machines. This is just absolutely amazing. But Bhagavatam is teaching us something completely, how to decode this, how to be free from this illusion. And Prabhupada using very strong words about men and women here. Not because he has some problem about it, no, because he wants to wake up us. Shake us. That's why the strong, very powerful words of Srila Prabhupada are used in these purports here. That's why Jiv Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole, Kotta Nidra Jao Maya, Pisha Chira Kore. How long you will sleep? On the lap of Maya. Wake up. So similarly here, this Prabhupada marathon, we are now. This is also time to wake up. It is that on the end of the year, there is usually in education system, there is some exam, time for exam, final exam, So because otherwise, if we are in the sleeping consciousness, we are just like, you are spacing out or, not so much aware or not taking so much seriously, then if it is the final exam, you're really taking, things very seriously in your hands, Yes, and I want to really be sure and prove yourself that that you really do something substantial at least once in a year, some final exam, certified, that's me, Yeah, so then, so Prabhupada Marathon, arranged by pure devotee, is something like that. It's not about selling, it's not about, about the numbers of books. It's not about that. It's rather about, express ourselves in the best way, the best manner, to Krishna, to Srila Prabhupada, to the other living entities, to everyone, to everything. How? In humble way. That's the real education. Because why? Because only when we approach to the service of Krishna, to other living entity, to everyone, with humble heart, this is just opening. We're opening really ourselves, our heart. That's me. This is who we really are. And then it's very joyful experience. Very thrilling experience of Krishna consciousness. Then this mercy is really flowing. Why? Because we're trying to act humbly. Then we deciding now I want to act as a servant instrument of the Lord in the hands of the spiritual master, Lord, the mercy of Guru Parampara. It's very nicely, beautifully explained by the pastimes also of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, when he was in Navadvip, and these pastimes are as a first part of this pastime. This is very nicely explained in the Chaitanya Bhagavan by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So he is explaining that this first part of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya actually is teaching us about what the wrong education is. Wrong education means that we are proud. So this is what Lord Chaitanya, by his own action, behavior, he is just showing this. He is Nimai Pandit. In the age of 12, he's very amazing scholar and great knowledge. He opens schools, so many students. But he himself, also his students, they copy him. And they are also very proud. And that's why, because they are very proud, Lord Chaitanya, Nimai is very proud, he cannot deal properly with other devotees. As he actually arguing always with them, always fighting with them, and there is no whatsoever, proper dealings between him and the devotees. But what is happening, the later, when Nimai Pandit is leaving Navadvip, and is going in the pretext of to offer Shraddha in Gaya, then he is meeting spiritual master Ishvara Puri, become initiated with Mahamantra Hare Krishna, and when he's coming back, it's completely opposite. The persons who criticize, the persons who just fought, he just became actually very, very humble. With folded hands, he's waiting humbly on the bank of Ganga, and he just waiting for them when they take bath, and waiting with the folded clothes of them and giving them one after another, Gamsha, Prabhuji. And then, the persons who was fighting like Mukunda or Shivas Thakur, then what is happening, he is taking the basket, all the clothes, and very humbly following after them as the servant assistant in their service. Although before, he was just arguing with them and challenging them like anything. So that's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, that's the difference between the real education and wrong education. That's the real education is about the character, stressing on the character development. While wrong education is all about the skills, and taking all the credits for ourselves. And we see now we're living in this everything is upside down. Prabhupada very nicely explained to be qualified for this pastimes of 10th canto with the internal potency of the Lord, that we can actually appreciate spiritual pastimes of the Lord, Krishna and Gopas and Gopis, Srimati Radharani. If you really want to go there, first we have to learn how to appreciate those pastimes of the material world. When the Lord is descending from spiritual realm, and he is appearing in different incarnations. For what? Just to having loving relationship with other devotees and wake them up, encourage them in the service. And but unfortunately, Prabhupada explained that no one is interested in the material world to have such interaction. Everyone is more interested to have interaction with the dull matter. This is like Krishna consciousness is the process of actually bringing back everything, put everything set up in the proper way, and the medium to that, the activity to that is the humility. Then what is really happening when we're reading books and nothing is coming to us, there is no any realization, everything is so dry. Our heart is not open, we are unsatisfied, we are struggling, then actually with the humility everything become more clear and less clouded. Then even you can read small one sentence from the Prabhupada books and you feel so much joy and relief. Even it doesn't matter, you just go out with this Prabhupada marathon, you just distribute even one book, but because you're doing this humble way, and you're not expecting nothing, you feel so much joy, so much, so much satisfaction, very uplifting experience. So like this, we can continue doing more and more and more and chant. And the Prabhupada said, that's the goal of chanting Hare Krishna. You won't chant more. Prasadam also, yeah. Keep going, also Prasadam. Embrace more devotees, living entities on this street. And this is what is happening when we have this humble attitude. That's the key to success in this Prabhupada marathon. People immediately feel like it is earned. But we are on the ego, immediately people will argue. We will argue with them, they will argue with us. Yeah. So this is so that's why this story with Pururava and Urvashi and later stories are just like this, showing also us, the power of how powerful is lust. This completely stealing our real knowledge, understanding who we really are, and how process of Krishna consciousness, how the instruction of Srila Prabhupada and these books, the real treasure, the real treasure. So therefore, it's like a very nice story with the Shaunaka Rishi. Shaunaka Rishi had one student came to him to learn from him, and he said, okay, my dear student, so this is the pot, fill this pot with the water. And then so he filled the pot with the water, and then Shaunaka took from his student and said, thank you, very nice, and he smiled, the student, and he poured out a little bit water. And he said, now something can enter. Something can enter. Now we can feel it fully again. Before it was not possible because it was full. So similarly, explaining to the student, when we are proud, the student was proud. That's because the pot was full, even if it's poured, even if it is explained, even if we can hear so many classes, even if you can read so many scriptures, there is no realization. Why? Because we are not acting on our original position of the servant. We are not acting with the humility. Therefore, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur beautifully explaining that these all stories are very allegoric, but very deep. And that's why we very carefully, with the humble, open heart, we have to study them and properly also understand them. But actually the real transformation of the heart, our consciousness, that we will regain back all these qualities of the pure soul, of a pure devotee. Otherwise we are trapped. We are externally, we may wear the robe of a saintly person, of a devotee of the Lord, but internally our heart is not really open, that the mercy can actually come upon us and really actually uplift us by our proper understanding, by our proper practice of Krishna consciousness. So thank you very much. There are some questions or comments. We have 2 minutes. Yes. No questions? No comments? Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Marathon ki jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna.